What's up, guys? It's my keys, and in this video I'll be talking about how to use the half steps and whole steps to construct the major scale. Now, how do we do that? We know that a half step is the closest movement from a note to the immediate next note, either going forward or going backward. So we can have C right here. C moving down, this least movement backward is a half step movement, or C going forward, this least movement is a half step movement forward. And we know that two half steps equals a whole step. So C to D is a movement of two half steps. C to C sharp is one half step. C sharp to D is another half step. So we have two half steps from C to D, which is equivalent to a whole step. So C to D is a movement of a whole step, and like that, and so on and so forth. So there's a formula for playing the major scale, and it's actually a combination of half steps and whole steps. So the half steps uh, are, are written. The half steps are written with the symbol H, while the whole steps are written with the symbol W. So where you see H is half step, where you see W is whole step. So the formula goes like this: WWH WWWH. So the formula starts with two W's first. That's WW, then H, then three W's, WWW, then H. So that's two whole steps, half step, then three whole steps, one half step. So I have a kind of um, acronym for that to help us, to help you get it into your memory, to memorize that, and so for the entire formula, I have something like that sounds like this. Don't mind me, I'm just playing around with words. So it's actually: Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt. Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt. Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt. If you watch some series, some horror series of there, you'll have heard about werewolves, vampires, and all that. So I just chipped that in. So Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt, and that's just logical because Walter won't want to be eaten up by the werewolves. So that's W. The first W is Walter. The next W is won't. The next H is hide. The next W is where. Then the next W is where. Then the next W is wolves. Then the next H is hunt. So Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt. Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt. So, and if we apply that formula on, let's say we want to create the major scale on C, for example, this is C. So the first movement in the formula is a whole step. So whole step from C is what? Is two half steps from C. So that's C to C sharp to D. So that means when you play C as your first note, the next note you play is going to be D, because you've applied a movement of whole step to get to D. So that's the first W, Walter. So that means you start the scale of C major with this, and the next note you play is D. So now from D, now the next thing in the formula says won't. We've done Walter, the first W. The next one says won't, another W. So that means you apply another whole step to D. So that means D to this next note, D sharp, is a half step. Then D sharp coming down to E is another half step. So we have two half steps from D to E, which is a whole step. So that means a whole step from D will mean playing E. So that means we have C, D, E now. So Walter won't. So the third one is hide. Hide stands for the letter H. So H will be half step. So from E, we want to move up and half step. So that will be E going to the next note. And if you see that between E and this next note, there's no black note there. So the nearest movement it can make is to go to F. So this is from E, we've applied half step, taking us to F. So it means we have 4 notes now. From C is our reference note. You first play the key you're starting the scale on, which is C. Then you now start applying the formula. The first one is Walter, W. It takes us to D, which is whole step. Then the next one is won't, W, which is whole steps, take us to E again. Then the next one is hide, which is H. It takes us to F, which is an half step. So the next one now is where, which is also W for whole step. So that will take us to F, F sharp, down to G. That's 2 half steps, which is whole step. So that means from F, where, applying where in the formula, which is W, which is a whole step, takes us to G. So the next one is also where. That's W-E-R-E now, where. So that is a whole step to W. From G, that will take us to A. I know you know how we got there by now. G to G sharp is 1 half step. G sharp to A is another half step. So 2 half steps from G, which is also a whole step. That's a W. G to A is a whole step movement. Where? So the next one is wolves, which is another W, which means whole step. So A moving forward by a whole step would be 2 half steps forward too. So that will be A to A sharp down to B. So from A you play B, which is a whole step, and that stands for wolves. Then the last word in the formula is hunt, which is also H, stands for H, which is half step. So from B going down to C, going upward to C is just a movement of a half step. So that way we've been able to form our major scale. So on C, the major scale will be, we'll first play the starting note, which is C, because we are building the major scale in C. So then we have C to D will be W, which is Walter. D to E will be W, which is won't. E to F will be H, which is hide. Then F to G will be W, which is where. Then G to A will be W, which is where. A to B will be W, which is wolves. Then B to C will be H, which is hunt. So that way we've played our major scale on C major scale. So the formula again is Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt. Walter won't hide where werewolves hunt. So, and that is whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Please, you need to really pay attention to this formula, because this formula can help you play the major scale in any key on the keyboard. And we have 12 keys, 12 major keys that you can play on the keyboard. So if you understand the concept of this major scale formula very well, you can apply it to every other key. So in the next video, I will apply it to 2 or more keys. I don't want this video to be too lengthy, so that way you will have more understanding about how to form the major scale. Thank you.